as you see in the description below, this is my AAR of Jet Li's 2000 action flick, Romeo Must Die. Now, this is 2 years after he made his American debut as the villain in Lethal Weapon 4. And in this film, it co-stars Aaliyah, DMX, Anthony Anderson, Isaiah Washington, Russell Wong, and Delroy Lindo. Now, in my last couple of Jet Li films, I did mention who was on these films with him, while kind of breaking down what happens from beginning to the end just a little bit. But this movie is over 23 years old at the time of this recording. And with that being said, it's streaming for free on the Tubi app. Feel free to download it, give it a look-see, even if it's your first time watching or you haven't seen it in a while. But instead of me telling you what happens from beginning to the end, I'll briefly say, hey, Jet Li's brother gets killed in this movie. Well, the actor playing his brother, not real life brother. His character's brother gets killed in this movie. He breaks out of prison overseas, comes here stateside to find out who killed his brother. Later on in the film, Aaliyah's brother gets caught in the crossfire and gets killed. So she and Jet Li team up to find out why their brothers were killed. Mind you, both of them come from families, from a black mafia family and a Chinese mafia family, who are both at each other over riverside properties. But again, not going to tell you what happens from beginning to the end. I'm here to get my AAR, like my ups and my downs. And here's my notes. So here we go. First note, my up rather, excuse me, is Jet Li. What else do you want? It's a Jet Li movie where Jet Li does what he does best in films, kicking butt. That's why people paid money to see Jet Li in these films in theaters back in the day, because they knew what it was going to get. They're not expecting an Academy or Oscar Award winning performance. You want to go to the theaters, get your popcorn, get your drink, and have fun seeing Jet Li beat up bad guys. That's what you paid your money for. Number two, Jet Li and Aaliyah's on-screen chemistry with each other. Now, the cool thing that I liked about their characters' relationship in that film was that it did something that you rarely see in today's entertainment and television and movies today, really. Is that you can have a male and female lead that show that they have feelings and affection for each other, but they don't have to sleep with each other to establish their relationship or establish that mutual attraction or affection with each other. That's the cool thing I like. Because a lot of films and television nowadays, in order to validate or show that these characters care about each other, they got to have a love scene, or they had to be intimate with each other. But my thing is, if it doesn't add to the story, why did you throw it in there? And that's one thing that I like that they did with this film. Now, it was supposed to be a kissing scene between them, but I believe a final decision was made that it wasn't appropriate or necessary to move the story forward. So that, kudos to them for that one. Big time. But yeah, Hollywood and modern entertainment can learn a lot, that you don't need to have sex or nudity just to sell a story. If it's an action movie, let it focus on the action and the story leading up to the action. You don't have to go to second base with everything every time. That's all I'm saying. Number three, the soundtrack. This movie had a very awesome soundtrack to it. I mean, the two lead singles on it, Try Again by Aaliyah, and Come Back in One Piece with Aaliyah and DMX, plus other tracks by Destiny's Child. Who else was on there? Genuine was on there. Plenty of other people. You can probably find the soundtrack on YouTube. Find it on Apple. Give it a chance and listen to it if that's your type of thing to listen to. Because I actually like how it combined, especially in the movie, how it combined martial arts action with a hip-hop soundtrack. And also being the fact that Romeo Must Die is the first of the trilogy of hip-hop martial arts films. The second one being Exit Wounds with Steven Seagal, and the third one being Cradle to the Grave with Jet Li in it. And all three of these films have Anthony Anderson and DMX in it. And I believe Exit Wounds has Isaiah Washington in it, but both Exit Wounds and Cradle to the Grave have Tom Arnold in it as well. But yeah, soundtrack, awesome. Also, this film is also heavily inspired by Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. You got your warring families, you got the loved ones instead of the lovers being caught in the crossfire. It's still tragic, but when it gets to the end of the movie, you see that both Aaliyah and Jet Li both avenge their brothers who get killed. So there's that with that one. And my fifth up, I got to give it up to Anthony Anderson playing Maurice. Now, he was supposed to be the bodyguard to Aaliyah's character in the movie, but he constantly got made a fool out of at every given moment, but he capitalized on it with his comedic timing. There's even one part when he's looking for her character where she like dips out from him and he kind of sort of breaks the fourth wall. And it was funny when he says, bring your Aaliyah looking ass back here, before he got in trouble with her dad in the movie. And I found that very funny. There's even parts of the film where he just kept messing with Jet Li, calling him dim sum and kept antagonizing him. And yeah, I found that very hilarious as well. But yeah, but kudos to Anthony Anderson for that one. The only two downs that I do have, however, though, is the movie advertised DMX, but he only had like 2 scenes in this film. And after the second scene, well, there's no more DMX. If you haven't seen the movie, watch it for yourself. You see what I mean. But in his first scene, when he breaks up a fight at his club, he says a speech that should have automatically made him a spokesperson for the National Rifle Association when he says guns don't kill people, people kill people. Which is ironic because he actually shoots a gun in the air at his own club to say that. But yeah, I really wish they would have used DMX a bunch more in this film. And the second down, I'm not going to say so much of a down, but it really made me go, okay, the action scenes, the fight scenes, there really was no need to have excessive wires and excessive CGI in those fight scenes if it's supposed to be in a modern day setting. Because first of all, it's Jet Li. You really don't need that. Now, some films require some wires to give an impact to like a blow or to a strike or whatever. But one scene in the film where Jet Li is playing football with the black guys in the park, they're pretty much knocking him all over in the air like he's a human volleyball. I'm going, when is this dude going to like land on the ground? And plus, the first fight scene in the film, Russell Wong's character, he's like the muscle of the Chinese family. There's a part where he kicks 2 guys, but like in midair, he kicks this guy on that side, while in midair, he turns the other side, kicks the other guy. And I'm going, well, I know if I try to do that, I'd break my back and my neck and every bone in my body. So, yeah, about that. Nah, that would never work in real life. But I mean, overall, still a fun movie to watch. And going back to talk about the fight scenes and action sequences, there's even parts where they had like X-ray effects in there. Like when you play one of the Mortal Kombat games, when you do the fatal blow, it shows like X-ray with the bones broken or whatever. They did a lot of that in the movie. And I'm going, man, okay. But then I can give a pass on these fight scenes and the excessive wire works and the physics and gravity defying things to do in this movie, being the fact that we live in a day and age in which, in the Fast and the Furious, they got cars flying in outer space. They got cars jumping from cliff to cliff like Donkey Kong swinging on a branch or a chain or wherever the hell. So, yeah, I can give that a pass on that. But overall, it's a fun film. I still like it regardless. I mean, it's also pretty tragic that, the year following, we lost Aaliyah in a ill-fated plane crash, and then 20 years later, we end up losing DMX due to natural causes, I'll just call it that. So, RIP to both of those musical legends, because they are still missed till this day. But the one thing I will say is that after doing this film, this inspired and influenced Jet Li to make Kiss of the Dragon, to where he made the fight scenes more grounded and more realistic, to say the least. And I'm gonna do a video on Kiss of the Dragon because I actually put that up there in my top Jet Li films as well. So yeah, this is just my AAR on Romeo Must Die. If you haven't seen the movie, or if you've seen the film but you haven't seen it in a while, feel free to give it a shot, give it another shot. Like I said, if you haven't seen it in a long time. Yeah. Till next time, see y'all on the next one.